Who are the most famous Hollywood actors that everyone is speculating about? Behind the glitter and the red carpet is a world full of untold stories, rumors, silent mysteries, and questions that never fade. Tonight, we'll explore 16 stars who have created countless rumors without saying a word. And trust me, some of these names might surprise you. Jacob Elordi didn't become a Hollywood sensation by being the loudest person in the room. His rise to fame has always been natural, almost accidental, as if fame came to him rather than the other way around. At first glance, he looks like a typical movie dream, tall, lean, confident, the kind of beauty everyone recognizes instantly. But the more fans watch, the more they realize there's something deeper in the way he exists, a quiet tension, a tenderness hidden beneath his sharp exterior, a subtle vulnerability that doesn't fit the stereotype he's been assigned. What draws people in isn't just his impressive physique or his camera-ready looks. It's the way he moves, slow and deliberate, as if he's always thinking several steps ahead. He doesn't try to hog the spotlight. He almost shies away from it, and that resistance only makes him more alluring. There's a softness to his expression, an inner calm that makes you want to lean in closer, trying to understand what he's not saying. His roles in Euphoria and Saltburn took that fascination to a whole new level. Jacob doesn't play those characters, he lives them, embracing their contradictions. The charm mixed with danger, the confidence mixed with desire, the beauty mixed with fear. His performance feels intimate, almost too real, and you can't help but wonder how much of that complexity is his own. In person, he keeps people guessing. His style is relaxed and classic, never pretentious, never flashy, a style that suggests he's not trying to impress anyone. And maybe that's why the world keeps speculating. Jacob never responds to rumors and never makes anything clear. He lets the mystery become part of his identity, proving that silence can be more attractive than any label. Louis Partridge has a presence that's unobtrusive. It unfolds slowly, like a story you don't even realize you're reading. He steps into the spotlight with an almost old-fashioned elegance, a beauty that seems plucked from a classical painting rather than a modern casting call. Yet beneath that old-fashioned charm lies something far more compelling, a gentle unpredictability, a quiet tug-of-war between innocence and mystery that keeps people watching him longer than intended. It's not his charisma or his dramatic style that draws fans. It's the subtleties, the half-smile that never gives too much away, the thoughtful pauses in interviews, the way he seems to float between boyish warmth and a deeper, more mysterious energy. Louis has a gentleness that is rare in young stars, but there is also a sharpness, a fierce light that makes people guess about who he really is beyond the roles he plays. As he takes on projects like Enola Holmes and art films, audiences begin to see a pattern. Louis tends toward characters with hidden dark sides, sensitive, delicate, and a little dark. He plays the role with such sincerity that audiences often forget where the line between character and actor is. That blurred line is part of his charm. He doesn't try to show off, he makes the viewer lean forward to understand the quiet moments. Louis deliberately narrows his world. No showiness, no oversharing, no trying to prove anything. His style is gentle, minimalist, a little romantic, as if he lives between the streets of London and a daydream. And because he never rushes to define himself, people often do what they do with someone who possesses a mysterious quality. They speculate, they imagine, they fill in the gaps. Louis Partridge doesn't need bold statements to attract attention. His power lies in his gentleness, his silence, and the sense that there is always more beneath the surface than he is willing to reveal. Chase Stokes exudes a warmth that radiates even before he opens his mouth. The warmth of someone confident enough to stand tall, but open enough to take in the world. His charisma extends beyond his chiseled jawline or the muscular physique that seems built for seafaring adventure stories. When Outer Banks introduced him to the world, audiences were instantly drawn in. But it wasn't the character that kept them watching, it was Chase himself. There was a sincerity in the way he interacted with everything around him. A glint of curiosity in his eyes, a willingness to laugh, to listen, to express emotion without hesitation. Even in the most intense scenes, there was a quiet gentleness that shone through. A reminder that vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a deeper kind of strength. What really set Chase apart was his steadiness. In a world that values performance, he chose honesty. He doesn't contort himself to fit expectations or hide his softer sides. He speaks with purpose, smiles without calculation, and seems most alive when talking about the things that really matter to him. That unadulterated authenticity makes people feel close, as if they're seeing the real person behind the screen, not the polished version that fame often demands. His style reflects that authenticity. Soft fabrics, sun-kissed colors, simple silhouettes, the clothes look lived in, not staged. His looks don't feel staged, and that's exactly why it works. Chase dresses like someone who values comfort over perfection, experience over show. That quiet confidence leaves room for interpretation, allowing people to see in him what resonates most deeply. Chase Stokes doesn't thrive on mystery. He thrives on honesty, and in a world that often prizes pretense, simply being yourself becomes a lesson in itself. You don't need to perform to be attractive. Being real is enough. Tanner Buchanan possesses a charisma that is not easily seen. It lies in the way he moves, the way he listens, the way he combines intensity and tenderness in a single look. He first made his mark in Hollywood with his sharp performances, but what really draws people in is something quieter, something that simmers beneath the surface. Tanner has an obvious charisma that seems familiar, almost classic at first glance. But the longer you watch him, the more you notice other aspects. A subtle unpredictability, an emotional depth, a quiet fire that sets him apart. What makes Tanner so compelling is the contrast he brings. He can be a tough, guarded character one moment, and then off-screen, break into a surprisingly warm smile. There's a sincerity to him, deep, genuine, and a little mysterious. He doesn't chase attention, he lets it find him. And it always does. Whether he's rehearsing for a role, strutting the red carpet, or simply giving an interview, he exudes a rare sincerity. He doesn't try to be the loudest person in the room. He just shows up, and that's enough. His looks add to his charisma. His strong jawline, his muscular build, his expressive eyes, he brings a modern twist to the classic leading man. Yet nothing about him feels forced. His style is clean, natural, almost understated, a simplicity that somehow amplifies his presence rather than conceals it. Tanner dresses, speaks, and acts like someone who knows exactly who he is, even as he's still learning how the world sees him. And perhaps that's what audiences respond to most, a quiet authenticity, the kind of authenticity you don't have to look for. Tanner Buchanan doesn't need drama to be interesting. His power comes from the calm confidence he brings to every moment, the sense that there's always more beneath the surface waiting to be discovered. Hero Fiennes' Tiffin exudes an ease that's rare in Hollywood. A calm, steady quality that commands attention without having to fight for the spotlight. He walks interviews and red carpets with the quiet focus of someone who knows exactly where he stands, even as he keeps the rest of himself hidden. There's a subtle charisma to his presence, a mix of discipline and gentleness, as if he's constantly studying the world but keeping a part of himself hidden. What's most captivating is the way he naturally balances elegance and simplicity. He doesn't rely on dramatic expressions or exaggerated charisma. Instead, he reveals himself in small, precise moments, a thoughtful pause, a hint of amusement in his voice, a fleeting smile before turning away. Those details make him authentic in a way that's rare, especially for someone who's been slowly rising in the industry. On screen, that same calmness is captivating. Hero steps into emotionally layered roles with restraint, drawing viewers in, letting them feel the weight of what's left unsaid. His performances are built on tension, on rhythm, on just enough inner world to leave audiences craving more. He doesn't chase intensity, he lets it develop naturally, which makes every change in his expression doubly impactful. Off the job, he keeps his life refreshingly simple, understated, simple, and genuine. His clothes reflect that same sensibility. Clean lines, soft tones, and a confidence that never tries to be flashy. He's proof that you don't have to be loud to be memorable. If you enjoyed exploring Hollywood's most powerful and unsung stars, be sure to like this video and subscribe. There are many more stories waiting for you ahead. Froy Gutierrez has an instant energy. Gentle, engaging, and just mysterious enough to make you pause. Attention doesn't come from loudness or drama. It comes from the quiet light in his expressions, the way he blends warmth and depth. His smile feels natural, but there's always something unspoken in his eyes, revealing layers he rarely reveals. That mix of openness and charm makes him stand out in a landscape filled with polished performances and predictable charm. When he appears in interviews, he exudes a calmness that draws you in. His dialogue is polished, gentle, and thoughtful, giving the impression of someone who values connection over acting. Even brief conversations feel genuine, almost intimate, because he speaks as if he's giving the viewer a genuine moment rather than reciting something memorized. Such authenticity leaves an impression long after the camera stops rolling. On screen, that emotional depth is evident in his performances as well. Rather than relying on dramatic gestures, he creates tension through subtle nuances. A gentle breath, a peaceful pause, a vulnerable look can transform a simple scene into something unexpectedly moving. These small choices give his characters a lived-in quality, as if each emotion comes from a place deeper than the script. Away from the spotlight, he gravitates toward a softer aesthetic. Light fabrics, soft tones, natural silhouettes rather than staged ones. The effect is effortless, a look shaped by instinct rather than design. It's refreshing, especially in an industry obsessed with perfection. If stories like this intrigue you, hit like and subscribe for more. And let me know, who's your favorite rising Hollywood star? Drop their name in the comments so we can feature them next. Manu Ríos burst onto the entertainment scene like a breath of fresh air, one that Hollywood never thought it needed. There's nothing traditional about the way he presents himself, and that's why he's so hard to ignore. Instead of clinging to a classic, rigid image of what a male celebrity should look like, he's broken free of it entirely. His look is sleek, lithe, elegant, and undeniably modern, as if he stepped out of a fashion magazine and into a new era of masculinity. What sets him apart isn't rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's intentionality. Manu moves with a self-awareness that makes every gesture purposeful. The relaxed wrists, the gentle smile, the gaze that's more graceful than aggressive. He exudes confident beauty, fearless elegance, and the confidence that comes from embracing every aspect of yourself, not just what society deems manly enough. While some still cling to old definitions, he shatters them simply by being true to himself. On screen, that energy is even stronger. He brings to the role a subtle sensitivity, a deft blend of calm and emotional acuity, challenging the stereotype that men have to be rigid to be attractive. His performance reminds audiences that strength doesn't always come from strength. Sometimes it comes quietly, through vulnerability, style, or presence. He embodies a new kind of masculinity, expressive, artistic, and free. His fashion choices alone rewrite the rules. The sheer fabrics, the jewels, the meticulous tailoring. He wears things that many actors would never touch, and he wears them so comfortably that old standards seem outdated. His aesthetic is more than just clothes. It's a statement that beauty has no gender, and confidence doesn't require permission. If you're excited to see more stars redefining Hollywood's concept of masculinity, let me know in the comments which boundary breaker we should highlight next. Noah Beck didn't just quietly step into the spotlight. He strode right into it and commanded attention in a way the fashion industry wasn't quite prepared for. The transition from college football to social media superstar was seamless. But everything about him signaled something different. Instead of fitting into the old mold of what a male influencer or actor should be, he rewrote it on the fly. His athletic build, infectious smile, and ruggedly masculine style, Noah embodied a fresh kind of masculinity that still stands out. His first real shift came when Noah Beck Tries Things debuted in January 2021, giving fans a look at the man behind the trend. Then he appeared in Machine Gun Kelly's music video for Love Race, expanding his influence beyond TikTok. Even his invitation to sit front row at the Louis Vuitton Fall 2021 menswear show marked a turning point. It's the nature of celebrity change. Here's someone from digital celebrity to high fashion, and his style alone sparks conversation. What's fascinating is how he plays with expectations. One day it's a runway guest, the next a workout video. He moves between soft palettes and mesh, between relaxed street style and high fashion polish, suggesting that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just whispers. That balance between familiarity and disruption is his power. Audiences recognize it and respond to it. Beyond the screen and the camera flashes, his fashion and presence send a message. You don't have to conform to old definitions to make an impact. If you want to challenge the definition of masculinity, Noah Beck is a prime example. If this story resonates with you, hit that like button and turn on notifications for future videos. And in the comments, tell us which rising Hollywood star is challenging the norms the most for you. Rudy Pankow brings a fresh, natural energy that is hard to resist. A rare combination of rugged charm and emotional openness that old Hollywood standards have never really captured. Since Outer Banks took him to new heights, audiences have been impressed by the way he naturally balances the boldness of adventure movies with a youthful, unforced sincerity. He doesn't fit into the classic tough guy mold. Instead, he steps into the spotlight with a freedom that makes old stereotypes obsolete. What sets Rudy apart is the way he embraces vulnerability without losing his edge. In interviews, he laughs easily, overcomes awkward moments, and speaks with a sincerity that is worthy of respect. He doesn't act cold and stiff to maintain his image. He's willing to be goofy, thoughtful, intense, or tender at any moment, and that emotional versatility has become part of his signature appeal. It shows young audiences that masculinity can be flexible, expressive, and still be appealing. Rudy brings a vibrant authenticity to his roles, the kind that comes from someone who understands that strength isn't measured by silence or stoicism. Whether in a chaotic chase scene or a quiet, conflicted moment, he brings depth through fleeting moments of emotion, unexpected tenderness, or shifts in body language that speak louder than words. It's both subtle and powerful, and it challenges the notion that male characters have to be rigid to be attractive. His public appearances add another layer of meaning. From relaxed festival suits to bold Fashion Week looks, he's not afraid to experiment with style. Airy sweaters, layered jewelry, and refined tailoring emphasize comfort over dominance. Each look gently pushes expectations and points to a more flexible and creative way of expressing oneself. If you'd like to see more stars redefining modern masculinity in Hollywood, leave your name, country, and phone number in the comments, and we'll get back to you. Austin North stands out without raising his voice. He has a distinctly California quality to him: relaxed shoulders, radiant confidence, and a calm, composed demeanor that's both approachable and charming. Before Hollywood fully embraced softer, more fluid expressions of masculinity, he was somewhere in between. Strong yet gentle, elegant yet humble, classic yet unpredictable. His career began with I Didn't Do It, where he immediately grabbed attention with his easy charm. But what really impressed audiences was the maturity he showed in Outer Banks. Deeper emotions, sharper instincts, and a maturity that revealed new layers without losing the warmth fans loved. Even in tense scenes, he exuded sincerity, letting emotions develop naturally rather than overdoing it. Whether he's chatting intimately at the Outer Banks press conference at events like Tudum or walking the red carpet at the Teen Choice Awards, Austin is always relaxed and thoughtful. He listens more than he shows, smiles without hesitation, and speaks with a sincerity that feels refreshing in an industry obsessed with glitz. He doesn't hide his flaws, and that sincerity makes him all the more appealing. His style reflects that spirit, bold but not fussy. From beach-inspired outfits on tour to clean, sporty looks when he's out and about, he's always aiming for comfort without sacrificing sophistication. Neutral tones, soft fabrics, refined tailoring, nothing stands out, but everything screams masculinity. Austin North reflects a quiet revolution taking place in Hollywood, proving that power doesn't have to be strong and masculinity doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes true strength comes from the quietest moments. A calm look, an honest answer, or a rare confidence in being yourself. Alex Aiono brings a vibrant, live energy right off the bat. A spark that doesn't rely on swagger or drama, but pure presence. He moves through the entertainment world at a pace that seems all his own, blending confidence with a surprising gentleness that takes people by surprise. Whether singing, acting, or interacting with fans, he delivers his emotions with a natural fluidity, as if he's listening to something deeper than the performance itself. His groundbreaking YouTube covers show a keen musical intuition, but it's Find My Way Back and his original songs that reveal the true depth behind his voice. Then it's Finding Ohana on Netflix, where he enters the acting world with a warmth that resonates far beyond the screen. He doesn't try to emulate the typical Hollywood upstart. He creates a space defined by sincerity, humor, and a touch of vulnerability that makes his character instantly relatable. Alex also shines on stage. His live performances, from intimate gigs to large festival venues, offer a mix of confidence and emotional authenticity. He easily shifts from playful to introverted, making fans feel like they're not just watching an artist perform, they're being invited into a special moment. It's this openness and willingness to let people in that sets him apart from the glossy image often associated with rising stars. In terms of fashion, he leans toward modern casual with a twist. Printed shirts, comfortable clothes, unexpected accessories that add personality without being too flashy. Whether he's on the red carpet, appearing on MTV, or promoting new music projects, he brings a fresh, expressive style that reflects his creative spirit. Aiono represents a new kind of Hollywood talent, one who leads with heart, embraces versatility, and makes room for subtle nuances. He proves that masculinity isn't defined by flashy looks or a glamorous exterior, but by the courage to express emotions, explore identity, and grow openly. Dickinson exudes a cinematic tension from the moment he appears, a quiet intensity that Hollywood rarely sees in actors his age. There's something deliberate about the way he moves, the way he scans the room before speaking, as if he's picking up details others miss. That stillness doesn't make him aloof, it makes him compelling. You feel like he's always half a step away from revealing another layer, and that mystery becomes part of his unmistakable appeal. His breakthrough in Beach Rats was a statement without trying to be. A performance filled with vulnerable flashes and quiet conflict that critics immediately recognized as the work of someone with a complex understanding far beyond his years. From there, he moved on to The King's Man, Triangle of Sadness, and Where the Crawdads Sing, each role radically different from the last. Harris doesn't repeat himself. He molds, reshapes, and reinvents until the character feels lived, not acted. Off-screen, he brings a genuine, unforced charisma. On press trips from Cannes to the London Film Festival, he maintains a natural composure. His thoughtful answers, witty humor, and a touch of humility draw audiences closer. He doesn't dominate conversations, he enriches them. There's no need to be grand when your presence does it for you. His fashion sense is both understated and striking. Sharp jackets, relaxed silhouettes, and clean lines accentuate his athletic physique without calling attention to himself. Whether he's strutting the red carpet in sleek monochrome or attending a casual Q&A in soft wool, he embodies a modern version of elegance. Approachable, expressive, and quietly confident. Dickinson represents a new wave of Hollywood masculinity, built not on show, but on subtlety. He proves that strength doesn't have to be shouted, and depth doesn't have to be hidden. Which actor on this list resonates with you the most? Leave their name in the comments. Mason Gooding is charismatic from the moment he steps on screen, lively, sharp, and confident, without being forced. His movements exude grace and strength, a natural charisma that makes even quiet scenes come alive. Rather than relying on the typical leading man formula, he builds his charisma from authenticity, letting the camera capture moments of humor, warmth, and sharp instinct. It's this mix of ease and emotional depth that leaves viewers breathless. His breakthrough in Booksmart revealed the surprising sensitivity behind his comedic abilities, and the Scream series shows that he can handle tension with the same grace as his more light-hearted roles. Mason doesn't overstate emotion. He delivers it deftly, bringing emotion to each character. Even during the tense press conferences and red carpet events of Love, Victor, and Scream 6, he remained authentic, joking with fans, highlighting his co-stars, and presenting himself as someone who understands the power of connection over ego. Off-screen, he exudes a natural charm. Interviews reveal a thoughtful young actor who listens more than he speaks, then surprises you with insights delivered through a warm smile. No pretense, no image obsession, just a creative soul who truly loves his craft. And that sincerity shines through in his style. Sharp suits, tailored jackets, comfortable t-shirts, and a casual, confident style that never seems pretentious. Mason Gooding is part of Hollywood's shift to a more open and expressive version of masculinity, one that values depth, kindness, individuality, and presence. And watching him grow is like watching the industry itself grow. If you want to see more stars reshaping the next generation of Hollywood, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next stories. Gavin Leatherwood, a quiet magnet, subtle at first, then hard to ignore. He's a rare phenomenon on screen, where the smallest gesture, the slightest breath, can change a scene. Audiences first noticed this in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, where he combined sharp charm with a light, refreshing honesty. There's an interesting contrast in the way he expresses emotion. Gentle, yet profound, mysterious without trying to avoid it. His characters don't rely on intensity, they rely on truth. As his music career has grown, fans have seen a different side of him. In his stripped-down performances and intimate songwriting sessions, Gavin lets his vulnerability take center stage. His voice carries a delicate pain, turning quiet confessions into something cinematic. Whether performing live on a small stage or releasing behind-the-scenes clips, he never poses, he lets his emotions speak for him. His public appearances reflect a similar authenticity. On the red carpet, at fan events, or in interviews, he exudes a calm, composed, almost classical spirit that sets him apart from more famous Hollywood figures. His style leans toward graceful expression, soft textures, warm tones, jewelry that speaks more of the person than the action. It's a gentle visual language that transcends conventional masculinity without ever feeling harsh. Gavin Leatherwood represents something important in today's evolving culture. A reminder that identity can be explored gently, quietly, and on one's own terms. In a world that often demands definitions, he approaches art with curiosity rather than labels, with openness rather than fear. You don't have to be loud to be authentic. Sometimes just allowing yourself to be authentic, even in the smallest moments, is an act of courage. Jaden Smith didn't need a confession or a dramatic moment to get people talking. It just happened. One day, he was the effortlessly cool kid from The Karate Kid and the face of futuristic street fashion. The next day, he was breaking the internet with skirts on the red carpet, diamond necklaces paired with combat boots, and an energy so free that people couldn't stop watching. No shock factor, no explanations, no apology. Jaden was simply himself, expressive, confident, and strangely gentle in the way he moved through the world. Fans noticed the shift immediately. He wasn't trying to prove masculinity or toughness. There was a softness, a sense of ease, a kind of artistic fluidity that felt refreshing in a world obsessed with labels. As his fashion evolved, so did the curiosity. High fashion campaigns, gender-neutral outfits, nail polish, pearls, and bold silhouettes became his signature. But none of it felt forced. It wasn't a performance. It wasn't rebellion. It was simply Jaden, turning clothing into a canvas and emotion into an aesthetic. He didn't define it, and that's exactly why people connected with it. At events, on stages, and in photo shoots, he carried the same energy, open, fearless, quietly tender. The queer community embraced him not because he claimed anything, but because his presence felt familiar. Jaden spoke a language without words, one built on freedom, expression, and the courage to simply exist as you are. Jaden Smith has never publicly labeled his sexuality, and maybe he doesn't have to. The way he dresses, lives, and expresses himself says enough. He represents a new kind of masculinity, one that leaves space for softness, creativity, vulnerability, and mystery. He didn't try to send a message. He didn't play a role. He just existed. And that quiet authenticity, that refusal to let the world decide who he should be, is exactly what makes Jaden Smith one of the most compelling and talked about figures in Hollywood today. Dylan Sprayberry possesses a presence that's both grounded and explosive, a kind of energy that doesn't try to dominate the room, but rather shapes it. He built his early career on intensity, from Teen Wolf to physical action roles, but what really sets him apart is all that's hidden beneath that tough exterior. Dylan brings a quiet, emotional authenticity to every performance. A rawness that comes through in small expressions, hesitant breaths, or unexpected moments of tenderness that take audiences by surprise. It's this contrast, power mixed with tenderness, that makes him unforgettable. As he matures, his work takes on new hues. Whether he's taking on independent projects, exploring darker genres, or appearing at fan conventions and Comic-Con panels, he shows a deep, self-aware, unfiltered version of himself. He speaks with a sincerity rarely seen in Hollywood. Unpolished, unscripted, but genuine. His style reflects his evolving self-expression. Comfortable t-shirts, layered necklaces, soft denim, leather jackets that look lived in rather than stylish. There's a gentle defiance to the way he presents himself, not through loud fashion statements, but through a quiet refusal to fit into any industry box. Dylan embodies a version of masculinity shaped by emotion, introspection, and authenticity rather than rigidity. And as the video's final character, he reminds us of something important. In the process of taking action, shedding stereotypes, and finding your truth, you don't always need to give clear answers or be labeled. Sometimes just having the courage to be true to your feelings and to define yourself in ways you choose is a victory for yourself and for the LGBTQ+ community. In a world built on old rules, these stars chose to rewrite them. They prove that masculinity can be fluid, bold, and completely personal. And Hollywood is finally catching up. If you want to see more stories shaping the future of fame, subscribe. This new era is just beginning.